Star Citizen has big plans for cargo in 2023. Cargo hauling and gameplay associated with moving boxes, cargo and the economy is going to be a staple of making Star Citizen a deep and rich game. Star Citizen is further expanding out its cargo gameplay beyond Alpha 3.18's cargo refactor. In fact, that cargo refactor is just the start and a framework for features that appear to be planned for 2023. And from what I can tell, look like they may be part of Star Citizen Alpha 3.19. So in Star Citizen Alpha 3.18, the cargo refactor basically makes commodity cargo physicalized and movable and stackable via tractor beams in one SCU boxes. Ships explode with these boxes sort of raining out. However, there's lots of other systems that are connected here and are going on with the cargo refactor. There's the soft death system, so that has ships typically actually now not exploding anymore when they die, unless they continue to be shot at, but instead they now are permanently disabled and boardable, salvageable, and their cargo is intact and lootable. Also, their crew, if players will have survived and can defend from boarding actions, that's some big gameplay there. Persistent entity streaming means that items, cargo, shipwrecks, they all persist in the location that they were left, and that servers will also save their states and load them back in after being restarted or crashing. So you can recover cargo from a fight, leave big stacks of it in an area, and the server will remember that. It will be on your side rather than constantly wiping everything. Along with this, there's also better shop management and trade kiosks, but these can always be better. All of that coming together actually adds a load more cargo and cargo-styled gameplay to Star Citizen's experience. But as I said, that's just the start. So what's next for cargo gameplay, and potentially what I believe will be a major focus of Star Citizen Alpha 3.19? Cloud Imperium have been working on ship-scale tractor beams for a while. These will allow you to move larger cargo containers and lots of cargo at once. A load of ships will make use of ship-scale tractor beams, and they will be quite a range of ship tractor beam sizes. This is not just going to assist for cargo gameplay and moving cargo crates, though. It's also going to be for towing ships and vehicles, moving minables and salvage, and you're going to be using it for puzzles, or even eventually it might allow us to move large sort of components across between ships. So if you want to change a power plant out or repair one, you might be able to take that out with a tractor beam rather than going to specialist facilities at a spaceport. But yeah, they're the king of utility items in the game, and they're just going to be able to allow you to get involved with so many different gameplay elements. We also know that Cloud Imperium have been working on the Argo SRV, and a lot of that work is wrapping up in February. So that mighty tractor beam ship is going to be really useful for moving cargo, especially since larger cargo containers have also been worked on. So we know that Cloud Imperium are keen to get in 32 SCU freight containers that will be integral for haulers like the Raft and Hull series to be used correctly and properly. They are building larger cargo containers beyond that as well, but the only way to move those cargo containers is with a specialist ship or a large tractor beam. The Hull C as well is going to be releasing between now and the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. And why do I say that? Well, the ship is currently on sale at time of recording, with Cloud Imperium saying it's going to be the last time it's on sale before its release. Seeing all ships are typically on sale at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, I would expect the Hull C to be released pretty shortly. I'm expecting it actually to be released around the end of Q2 with Alpha 3.19. Pretty much everything I talk about here, I'm expecting for Alpha 3.19 or soon after. All those features nicely merge and fit together, enabling the Hull C to be able to make use of its intended cargo gameplay, but also you're going to be able to attach and detach cargo boxes, move them around with tractor beams, and fly around the verse in a true hauler. There is much more to the expanded cargo gameplay though, with Cloud Imperium wanting times and costs associated with loading and unloading cargo, and I would expect this to come at the same time. You buy your cargo from a terminal currently, and it's instantly loaded on your ship and unloaded when you sell. But in the future, you're going to have to pay fees and wait for the loading and unloading process to take place. Now, you may be able to pay to have these times expedited, or even do some of the process yourself. The facilities of landing zones may affect these too, as may your rep with sort of the cargo guilds or whatever. I am actually expecting missions to unload other ships in game 2, like a dock or warehouse worker type stuff. I do think some level of manual labor in the game like that is probably to be expected with the sort of diversity and scope of Star Citizen. One of the things you can hopefully expect at the same time is the expansion and more uses for cargo decks on stations. So these being more appropriately used for some of their planned gameplay is probably quite a good idea. We know that you're going to be able to buy and rent cargo ships in places like cargo decks. You'll be able to purchase cargo space at a station to store your cargo. You'll be able to buy a large range of FPS and ship gear associated with cargo gameplay, including tractor beams and cargo for transport as well. Cargo missions will live in cargo decks, and most likely escort missions for cargo ships will be sort of in these areas too. Expect trade terminals and info at these places as well, so you can work out where you want to buy and sell. You can expect there to be more meaty delivery missions and hauling missions of various types as well. Take this large stack of cargo from A to B rather than just a single box. You'll have to have certain levels of reputation to take more valuable missions though, and losing the cargo will likely tank your rep or net you a penalty. There might be ones where you need your own cargo ship, but also ones where you can probably use the cargo ship of a particular company. I'd also expect the TDD or Trade and Development Divisions at planets to be similarly affected with this sort of update to content and mission gameplay. So you can expect that gameplay to expand out, but also there's going to be counter missions and the other side of the coin, PvP, chances to find massive haulers destroyed in space, the Hull C and that sort of thing, and other ships be used as part of missions in general. It's likely that the Starfarers in the gas cloud with the Xenothreat event will get changed to Hull Cs at some point, for example. I'm expecting that escort missions will come into the game much more readily, so you can expect player escorts more. I suppose once we have Pyro and they've expanded out more systems, that's more likely to happen. That said, quantum interdiction is more likely to be happening when there's profit to be made, and obviously when there's large cargo haulers moving around and you can actually take the cargo off them and steal it, well, that's the time then you're going to want escorts. And escort mission wise, I'm expecting there will actually be NPC escort missions where you will literally have to follow around a cargo hauler and jump with them and take them around, and they'll be picking up some cargo that from like a wreck or something, and you'll have to protect them while they're doing that. It makes sense as well that Cloud Imperium will likely rebalance the economy somewhat, and maybe even have more of Tony Zorovic's dynamic universe simulation and economy ready, with prices being affected by what's happening in game, what missions are being completed, the amount of rearming, repair and refuel that's going on at a particular location, and what cargo is actually being traded. Those will all affect prices. And with servers being able to save states with persistent entity streaming, that data's not going to be lost. It's going to persist for a long period of time. There are loads of improvements that I hope to see. I want to see cargo being able to be bought and sold in vast quantities at shops, and those shops to have large stores for that sort of cargo. I don't want to be in a position where shops just aren't buying ever because they're always full, or because there's sort of artificial reasons in place that limit them purchasing by they can only purchase a little tiny bit each minute. I want there to be a full loop of, yes, that cargo that I'm delivering there, those materials are actually used for something. They get moved on to another area. They get used as part of a factory node. They get manufactured into other components or get made into another item that is then needed somewhere else in the verse. This is going to be super important if shops' sort of stocks are saved permanently because of persistent entity streaming. And not just because of persistent entity streaming, but just because of the sort of game being in a more of a state where they can then track the pricing and stocks and what ships are doing and all of the items in game and where they all are. Just having more lucrative missions that are generated when like a shop is full of cargo, so you can move from one area to another, and yeah, you can make a lot of money from doing that. Yes, sometimes cargo shouldn't be able to be sold if the market is saturated or your price is going to be particularly low, but in the future when we have more star systems, that might be the best time to buy when the market's saturated in one area. You buy a load of cargo from there, nom nom nom, take it somewhere else and sell it. Yeah. There is going to have to be some placeholder systems and faking of parts of the economy and gameplay for a while, though. That's just the nature of Star Citizen being an alpha. But hopefully, this will all be adding a huge amount of depth to Star Citizen's economy and cargo gameplay in 2023. And even though there are going to be placeholder systems here, hopefully they won't be bad, they won't be broken, they won't go, well, actually, you can't do this very basic cargo or economy thing. There's going to be a load more after all of this is implemented, though, but it's a big step forward. We might know a good lot more of what exactly is happening this year on February 8th, as Cloud Imperium should be updating the roadmap significantly there and setting the tone for the year. But my expectation, very much so, Alpha 3.19, a big patch for cargo gameplay. At least, that's what I am expecting. Boom. That's it for your cargo gameplay, hopefully coming this year. But what do you think? Will we see the SRV and Hull C soon? Are you expecting any other cargo-related gameplay this year? Do you think I've missed the mark with some of those expectations? Are you excited for more cargo gameplay coming this year, either because you're a hauler, an escort, or a pirate? Do you expect a lot of these updates will drop in Alpha 3.19? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Using my vast powers of deduction, I have deduced that you may have eyes, and to make use of those, you might want a Tobii eye tracker. They're 15% off until February 9th. They're natively supported in Star Citizen for eye and head tracking. Ooh, I can look around everywhere. Check out my links below for that, or go to tobii.gg/BoredGamer to get that fantastic deal. Ooh. It's a new year, time for resolutions, a brighter future. I'll make myself better each day. Or I could just stay at home and play computer games. But what if someone steals my house or bank while I'm otherwise preoccupied on the internet? NordVPN.com/BoredGamer. It's probably the best VPN deal of 2023 already. Not only does it provide security, anonymity, and accessibility on the interwebs, but I haven't heard of anyone with NordVPN having their house stolen. Thanks, NordVPN. Now no one will know what type of degenerate anime I watch. Get NordVPN, you filthy animal. You deserve it. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For January, we are giving away an Argo Raft, the reinforced advanced freight transport ship, a dedicated cargo hauler that should see some additional gameplay in 2023. This also comes with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, then please consider becoming a YouTube member with the join button under my videos. You could even become a Patreon. There's links below to that. But liking, subscribing, commenting goes a huge way to help the channel grow. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.